Hello and welcome to the very first and potentially, probably only episode of Spicy Decks, because I won't survive. I'm your host, Mitch, and this is Eddie.
Hello there.
So, in life, there are many spicy things. There are spicy foods, and there are also spicy decks. You know, in a format like Commander, you can do a lot of crazy and incredible things. So, we thought, why not, combine the two? You talk about a spicy deck at the same time as you're getting punished by spicy foods, whereas Eddie actually is probably just gonna be enjoying this the whole time.
This is gonna be so good.
Because again, Eddie, for whatever reason, Eddie is built in whatever weird way where he really enjoys just punishing himself with spicy foods, and I'm just, I'm more not, I wouldn't say like normal spice level. I'm a spice baby. I do not handle spice very well, so this should be pretty interesting. Interesting, to say the least. So the setup for this, basically, there are 5 spices over here. Actually, there's a 6th one, but we'll get to that here in a second. Just pay attention to these. So there are 5 spices. I'm sure I'll put something up on the screen or whatnot about this, but basically, each of these spices is represented by a basic land. Eddie and I each have one of the 5 basic lands as well. We will, at the beginning of our section, we're gonna go over 5 different sections, 6 actually total. We'll talk about the 6th one here in a second. We're gonna go over 5 sections, and at the start of each section, we have to each shuffle our library and take a top deck and basically see what the land is that's on top. And then that is the corresponding spice that we have to devour. Now, these go from an island, which is the K-Mama sauce, which is a little spicy, but not really all that spicy.
It's a nice Korean barbecue.
It's a nice Korean barbecue spice or sauce, and it's pretty. It's not going to be that bad. At least I hope it's not going to be that bad. Yeah. Then we move on to plains, and we get a little spicier with the Lucky's hot sauce, ripe jalapeno. And so actually, I should have mentioned this before. These are all, except for the lowest, these are all Minnesota spice or hot sauces. So even in Minnesota, you can have some spicy things. Just thought we'd represent some local things here. And again, actually with our milk glasses, just in case we need them, which I probably will, Minnesota glasses as well. So Lucky's slightly spicier in the plains. Let's move on to a forest, and we've got Crybaby Craig, a fantastic name.
Yeah, I love it.
The Crybaby is actually gonna be Mitch, not Craig. And then we move on to Hell-Raising, and I think that was pretty key to being a mountain. You've got the fire with mountain. But then, what's hotter than mountain? Well, death. Death is hotter. Death is hotter. So swamp is Lola's fine hot sauce. It's all natural. It's also ghost pepper. So ghost pepper is quite spicy from what I have heard and what I've been told. But that's not even our hottest one though, because the golden pig, which again, that's not in our cards. We can't get this one early, luckily, but also not luckily, because it's the last one that we're gonna tackle, is going to be the hot sauce. It's going to be a Carolina Reaper hot sauce. Double take. So this is going to be quite punishing and painful. And again, that's why there's probably only gonna be one episode of this ever. So enjoy it, because you're probably not gonna get another one, because I will not survive.
Yeah, there might not be any uploads for a little while.
It's just gonna be,
that's all right.
Actually, next time it's just gonna be Eddie talking to himself and just eating hot wings. So that's gonna be that. So the spicy deck that was chosen for this episode is actually not one of ours. It's actually one of Alec's. Alec is an amazing deck builder, and this one has caught both of our eyes, and Eddie's actually played against this one, but you know what, we'll have Alec talk about it first in his own words.
Hey guys, so the spicy deck I have for you today is my Sisei Witherlight Captain list. This may look like a typical shrine strategy, but my main goal is to use the Proteus staff combo to set up a truly epic series of plays. I really like playing this deck because it features a few game-ending cards that you may not often see in Commander, and it always seems to spark some fun table conversation. Hope you enjoy.
All right, thank you, Alec, for the overview of the deck. We're gonna dig into this deck in a few different ways. We're gonna break it down by category and...
Again, 5 category, 5 sauces.
Exactly. So we're gonna start out with the basics, stuff that every deck needs. We're gonna go for ramp, we're gonna go for removal. This deck has a little bit of recursion that it needs as well, so we'll cover all those. Next, we'll move on to the engine of the deck, what really keeps it going in the middle of the game, what you'll see most of the time. We'll move on then to the setup, because this deck requires a little setup. It has a particular suite of cards that need to be in exactly the right spot to really show off the spice. Then we're gonna go for the finale, where everything comes together.
Which is somehow at number 4. The finale is number 4.
Yes.
We still have 2 more categories.
We do. 2 more categories, 2 more hot sauces. We'll move on to the epilogue, which is once the finale has occurred, this is how the deck closes out, how it wins.
After Mitch has already passed out from the hot sauces.
I'll carry on from there.
Perfect.
And we will then decide, out of all the cards we've talked about by that point, which one carries the title of the spiciest pig, the golden pig.
Literally the Reaper, the Carolina Reaper. That ends it for me if I have not died before that.
So, without further ado, let's get the burn started
Why did I sign up
and
for this?
get to the hot sauces.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with the basics, and again, to open the category, let's shuffle up and see what land we each draw. I would love to start off with something just nice and easy to start, please.
One nice thing about this paradigm we're doing here is I might get the skull, Mitch might get the island. We might get the same one. Who knows? But it's gonna be fun to see
how
where
big
we
of a
land.
baby I am.
Yeah.
No.
We are not taking it easy here, folks.
No.
I would like to demonstrate Mitch's hot sauce here. We have Lola's. We're not sponsored by any of these folks. We just
No.
think they're neat local hot sauces.
They are all, I think I said they're all Minnesotan. That one is from Des Moines, Iowa. Apparently you need to get a little hotter when you get to Des Moines, Iowa. These are all local, I believe.
Yes. So this label is very unassuming. It starts out with like vaguely Chili's looking logo, pretty innocent. Lola sounds nice. Fine hot sauce, all natural. And then, by the way,
Ghost pepper.
similar to Alex deck here, it kind of buries the lead and will kick you at the end.
Exactly.
Ghost pepper.
Oh, great. And then, yeah, Eddie's got the lovely hell-raising hot sauce.
Yeah, so this one isn't a slouch. This is hell-raising hot sauce. They're triple inferno, because 1 and 2 infernos, not enough. You need to go for the triple.
So I've got the ghost pepper. I think that one's habanero, jalapeno, and serrano.
You got it.
Yeah, look at me. I studied how well I'm going to lose.
So, here we go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was far too much. That was far too much. That was far
Yours
too much.
does not have the nozzle.
No. Why is there no fun stopper on this? Why did this start off with this one? Oh.
There we go.
Oh. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good luck, friend. This is good.
Good is not a word I'd use to describe how I feel. Okay.
No.
Let's quickly get through this and talk about the basics.
So I think this will help you distract from the heat.
Yeah.
Let's have you go over the basics.
Okay. So, ramp removal recursion are what we're going to be... Oh my god. Why did I start off with this
You
one?
got it. Ramp removal recursion.
Okay. So, obviously, you've got your typical ramp spells. You've got your Soul Ring, your Farseek. 5-color deck, you need to build fixture colors. One card that I want to point out in this deck that really helps you fix your colors is Chromatic Lantern. Basically makes it so that lands you control can tap to add 1 mana of any color, which is great for Sisay because Sisay has a Wooburg activation. So you need...
You're talking fast just to get this out of the
I'm
way.
trying. You need perfect mana fixing. Okay, let's move this away from me. Stay away. You need perfect mana fixing in order to activate Sisay. Again, this deck does, you obviously want to get, we've talked about, I believe I talked about shrines and whatnot, so you can get those out. It's not the main focus of the deck, but it's still important to fix your mana and to ramp in this deck because you do kind of need to get to that end finale. Mirari's Wake is another card that's in this deck as well. A mana doubler like that can be fantastic to help you get set up quickly, to help you get to where you need to go. Oh my gosh. Okay. In terms of removal, this deck, I believe, only runs 1 creature.
It does.
So literally just wipe the board, keep wiping the board to keep yourself alive because there is no tomorrow. You just, there is no tomorrow.
Ghost Pepper will ensure that.
You cast things like Blasphemous Act, to wipe out all the creatures, Ingarrick's Wake, those kind of things, basically to get rid of everything that's on the board. And just keep yourself alive. Go, I can't think.
So, as Mitch said, there's technically 2 creatures. Sisay's in the command zone. She'll be dodging the board wipes, and then we have 1 demon in the middle that we'll get to later. The only other part of this deck that is really important for the basics to keep the engine running is some of the recursion spells that Alec has cleverly disguised as draw spells. So one of them is the new MDFC modal dual face card, Valakut Awakening. And so that one lets you take any number of cards in your hand, shuffle them in the library, and then draw that many +1. So this deck needs a very specific circumstance to really get the finale going. And so if you happen to draw one of those, that's actually a bad thing because you need it on the top of your deck.
You need to ditch it, essentially. So yeah, if you get things in your hand, usually that's a good thing for most games to have the spells that you want, but in this game you need it in your library because there's some setup that does happen that requires it to be in your library.
Right.
Now I can think. Say I had a second to process. It's still
We're
hot,
good.
but I can kind of think.
We're good. So at this point, you've got Sisay, you've done some ramping, you've done some card draw, all usual stuff. It wouldn't really raise any eyebrows. The next category is much the same. So this is the engine.
The engine, okay. And because we got to a new category, actually, Eddie, you're a spice person, right?
Yep.
So let me know if this works.
Sure.
I just had something that was really spicy.
Yeah.
If I eat something that's slightly less spicy, does that help me, or does that hurt me? Does that like cool it down? Is it like drinking water at this point, or is that like just adding fire or adding
I think you're gonna be all right. I think you're gonna be all right because in comparison,
that's true.
It'll cover up some of the.
Now I'm a pro until we get to the golden pig, and then I'm dead.
Yeah, until we get to the repo.
So this one's called the engine, right? Is that what it's
the
called?
engine.
Okay, so shuffle up. Eddie stacked his deck clearly. Let's go. All right, middle of the road.
Okay, you're going back down. I am trading up.
You got it. We start off hot.
I've got the swamp. We're going for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Pedal
goodness.
to the metal.
Oh my gosh.
You've already heard about Lola's.
You literally took off your top two.
Oh yeah.
You just gonna enjoy the rest of the time.
This is gonna be perfect.
Oh, and then I get Crybaby Craig, which is a habanero and garlic hot sauce. Yeah, and so again, it's gonna be Crybaby.
I've learned from you. This does not have a stopper.
It does not have a stopper, so you're welcome for helping you out in learning that. Oh,
It does come out quick though, doesn't it?
It does. I can barely think right now.
That's all right. Let's do
Oh
this.
no.
That looks so good.
I am just.
I'm jealous.
Okay, well.
Oh, nope. Got a little bit of a foretaste of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Okay. Air cheers.
Air cheers.
All right.
That's more than I was expecting. I love me some hot sauce.
I mean, this has got good flavor to it, but again, the other one kind of just punched me right away.
Yeah.
And this one I think is more of a slow burn. It's kind of getting to me. That would be you.
Yeah.
Even Eddie can be taken down.
I tried. It's like a Dorito, right? You get all the flavor on top. Like you got to go for that Dorito. Like that's my philosophy with hot sauce. Like you don't try to like hide it and like beat around the bush. You
just dive right into it.
Dive right in.
Okay.
Right on the.
From a hot sauce expert to a very novice person.
That is good stuff.
My way to defeat hot sauce is just not to eat it.
It's clever, but it'll get you.
It'll get me when I do things like this, which is very dumb for me.
Okay. So we've taken our lashes. We are going to talk about the engine part of Alec's brilliant deck here. So you've done your ramp. You've done any control that you need to do. You've got some card draw going, all the usuals. What Alec has to fuel the deck into the long game is shrines. So Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, when she was first spoiled, she, I guess we should say, tutors up legendaries based on their power and requires Wooburg to activate. All of the shrines happen to be legendary.
Yep.
It's something that is sometimes overlooked because we're in a singleton format. It feels like almost everything is legendary because barring copies, you don't really see two of anything.
Makes sense in Standard, though, or other sets where it's like, oh, I'll just play all these shrines in the same one and just get a bunch of effects of the same one. But in Commander,
Obviously, you're kind of self-limited anyway, but since they are legendary, works super well with Sisay. And so you can tutor up whatever shrine you need at any given time. Plus, Sisay shrines, while it's not like a super popular deck type, it's when people see Sisay, it's either going to be Legend Tribal or Shrine Tribal for the most part. Those are going to be very common. And so Alec is using that to his benefit to both actually get function out of it. Like you could just win with shrines once you get to a critical mass, but it also throws people off the scent of what the deck wants to do.
like a red herring where like people are like, oh, okay, this is what Alec is about. Alec is just gonna be playing shrines, and if I can stop his shrines at a certain point once he gets to, too many shrines, then I can beat him. But he's throwing people off the scent.
Yes. And it plays really good politics because shrines, like hot sauces, can be slow burns.
Yes.
I've
learned that.
Yeah. So they typically have fairly small effects that get worse or better for the player as you have more of them, but they're also very visible. They're very obvious to the other players at the table of what you're doing, what to expect. If there's a combo deck at the table or a big explosive deck, a lot of times any threat assessment is going to be pointed over that direction for the middle.
Not at
or
the
early
shrines
game.
player. Alex got 2 shrines and playing. People are like, get him!
Yeah. Especially like if you don't know the deck, most people are not going to be looking too closely at the shrine player.
So what kind of shrines are in the deck that can be effective in this?
Sure. So there's the old shrine cycle, the Hondens.
Yep.
So there's the Honden of Infinite Rage, which just says at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to deal damage to any target equal to the number of shrines you control. So really good for spot removal if there's a troublesome permanent.
Yep.
And that's generally, you're not going to really want to aggravate any players
Sure.
With this deck until you're ready to.
Until you're ready to really aggravate them.
So generally going to be used for removal. There's life gain shrines that'll gain you life based on the number of shrines you control. There's ones that create sapperling tokens to help build up your defense.
Sure.
And of course, just good card draw in the blue ones. But the coup de grace for all of those has to be the new card and the new cycles from M21, especially Sanctum of All. So,
Which with a name like that, it is all 5 colors.
it is all 5 colors. It's a 5-color legendary enchantment, which doesn't happen every day. We've got a new one with the Prismatic Bridge and Call Time, but other than that, pretty few and far between.
Yep.
So Sanctum of All says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. So shrines typically, like we talked about, need a critical mass. Like once you have 6 or more shrines, you're well on your way to winning.
Yep.
Sanctum of All takes that
It says,
literally
hey,
twice
you're
as fast.
going twice as fast. You're literally doubly as effective as you once were.
Right. So this is a great one. And another really nice benefit to this is Sisay, your commander, gets stronger based on the number of colors among legendary permanents you control. This is a 5-color legendary permanent. So this is right away going to take Sisay to her maximum power so you can get anything from your deck that you need.
Yep.
If that's the route that the game is going, you can use that avenue as well.
Absolutely.
But really, shrines are, as the category implies, the engine of the deck. They're going to propel you to the end game, give you the resources you need, while also kind of masking the true intent of your deck as you do that.
It's like an engine that's really loud and it's, distracting.
Beautiful.
My brain just doesn't work right now with hot
I couldn't have said it better.
Exactly. 100%. Let's go with that. Oh my god.
Okay, so we are moving to a new category. You know what that means.
Yep. So this is the setup, and for the setup, I am once again hoping for a.
You've already done Lolas.
I've done the big one.
Yeah.
Let's.
The odds are in your favor to get like a low one.
I haven't been very lucky today, so I'm probably gonna get the mountain. So let's see.
Let's see it.
Yep. Gosh. Okay. There's a silver lining here. It's that, okay, I'll knock out these 3.
You got Azores next.
Hopefully I can handle the easiest, the island and the plains.
I'll be grabbing K-Mama
Exactly.
here.
You're taking it easy. You're taking the easy path. And then I can kind of be ready. I'm probably just not going to be prepared then for the last one, where you're going to be like
lulled
built
into
up.
a false sense of security.
Okay. So this is hell raising. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This one's gonna be tasty.
Yeah, that's a word.
This is a no stopper bottle.
This one has a stopper.
Public service announcement.
I'm gonna try to still get a good amount on it, just to be fair, because I think you put a good amount on it too.
It's thick. All right.
I think, is that enough? Am I being fair?
You do whatever your stomach is telling you to do.
Now you make me feel like I didn't do enough. So I don't know. Let me know. Okay, at the end of the episode. In the comments below, let me know if Eddie or I put more of this on ours, okay? I need to at least beat Eddie in something today. Okay?
You got it.
I'm not doing this with the last one. I'm not. Okay.
All right, cheers.
Ready?
It's like a stir fry in my mouth.
That was a poor decision.
How does it compare to the Lolas?
It's a different kind of hit. I think Lola's is definitely hotter, but this one got me like right. It hit me right away. It did hit me quick. Like Crybaby Craig again, kind of was just more of like a build.
Slower.
This one was just like, hey, bam, habanero.
Hey, Mama's nice and inviting. She's just inviting you over for dinner.
That's perfect.
It's not very.
I can't
intense.
wait. One of these two came up, unless I accidentally put like 2 mountains in here.
I actually stacked. The
You
deck.
stack the deck, and I
It's
just have
thematic for the deck type.
That'd be
Yeah.
really funny. I should have checked it ahead of time. Okay, anyways, we're on the setup. Okay, so the setup for this deck requires basically 2 cards, essentially, right?
Yep.
Okay. And those cards are two incredibly popular cards in Commander that see play everywhere, right? I mean, everyone knows that the Commander staples are Hellcarver Demon. I can't even say it with a straight face because the hot sauce and because of also that, and Proteus Staff.
Yeah, I sense a little bit of sarcasm and a touch of pain, as well.
Yeah. Sarcasm and pain is a great combination, people. All right.
So, if you want to read out the cards, I'll kind of explain
that
how
sounds
this
good to me,
deck
because one of
works.
us can think better.
Case in point.
That's fine. All right, Hellcarver Demon is a 6/6 flying demon for 3 black. When it deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice all other permanents you control and discard your hand.
Sounds great.
Literally, just again, why doesn't see more play? Exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So, big upside, or big downside first, then big upside, right? So there is a huge astronomical cost for getting to cast the top 6 cards of your library for free, and that's basically get rid of everything else that you have.
Yeah, so it's a demon card. They'll give you a favor, but it comes at a price.
Absolutely.
This one's a pretty big favor for a pretty big price.
Yeah.
So I think this is a card that I've seen on a few articles or just mentioned as like potentially one of the worst cards in Magic.
I think I've seen it before on a list of like the worst mythics of all time, and it's like it's such a niche card that it literally, how are you gonna make that work? And yet Alec finds a way to be like, hey, you know what? This card is absolutely amazing, and I'll show you why.
Right. So the other half of this particular setup is Proteus Staff. Did we already?
It is an artifact for 3. You pay 2 and a blue and you tap it and you put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. That creature's controller reveals the top card of their library until they reveal a creature card. The player puts that card into play and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Play this ability only anytime you could play a sorcery. So the key here is that most cards these days, I don't think there's any cards really these days that are like, hey, yeah, put them in whatever order you want, essentially, when you can basically, when they're like limited to, maybe if they're limited to like 4 cards or something like that, sure, you can put those 4 cards whatever order you want. Not your entire library in certain circumstances like this does, essentially. So basically, oh gosh, I can't think.
I got it from here.
Yeah, you got it. The Hell Raisin's getting to me.
So, as we mentioned earlier, this deck is constructed in a very specific way. There's 2 creatures in the deck, General Cisse Captain Cisse, right?
Yes? No, you're not
Cisse,
thinking.
whether like Captain.
There we go.
Not the old Cisse, the new Cisse.
You need 5 colors.
You need 5 colors, and so she resides in the command zone, so she's never going to get found by Proteus Staff. However, if you have Hellcarver Demon either in your hand, or if you activate Proteus Staff twice, the way that it works is, let's say you have the best case scenario. Hellcarver Demon is in your hand, so he's not in the deck, we know that.
Yep.
You can, let's say, have Cisse on the battlefield, or if you have one of the green shrines, maybe you made a sapling.
Yeah.
You activate Proteus Staff, targeting one of those creatures. Or Hellcarver Demon could be on the battlefield and you could target Hellcarver, but we need Hellcarver for later, so sometimes it's safer to hold him back. So then you search your library, revealing until you hit a creature. Oh no, there were no creatures. Shucks.
Guess I gotta organize my library however I want.
Such a down.
5 hours later.
Yeah, so if you really wanted to stack your deck exactly how you wanted, all 60 or 70 cards that you have left, you could do that.
If you want to know your friends.
If you want to know your friends. But really, we know that we're going to be using this for Hellcarver purposes, so you might want to do the top, 7 or 8 just in case you have to do something else before you get the Hellcarver trigger. But you can stack your entire deck out of any of the cards that are revealed. And since there's no other creatures, it's all the deck, however you want. And then we get to the finale.
And I don't know why I'm that upset, because I get one of the easy ones at this point. And I'm like, another hot sauce is probody the problem, but yeah.
Yeah. I think you're running Azores.
Azores, Azores is not about spice. Azores is about
non-flavorful.
They're about
at all.
Yeah. It's about, hey, I'm gonna counter your spell, so you don't get any spice. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
Eddie. Plains.
Plains.
I'm working my way
All
down.
right.
I'm working my way down. There we go. Now you can evaluate how bad I am at spices, because you can be like, oh, Eddie just didn't even react at all, and Mitch is like,
So we got some Lucky's hot sauce, jalapeno and garlic. Nice workhorse hot sauce, nothing too fancy here. Let's make sure we're not just getting all vinegar.
Nice workhorse for Eddie, apparently. This is again, I would not be putting this on my food normally.
Okay. Nice and runny.
sure I got it just as much as Eddie, if not more, right?
Okay, looking good.
I got more than Eddie. There we go. Look at that. Comments below.
I'll give it to you.
Yep.
You got
Comments
this one.
below on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a poor decision.
If that was like just sitting on a table, sure, I'll add it to,
Nope.
you know, whatever.
Nope.
But
Gosh, why did I?
you did this to yourself.
I literally did. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna prove a point. I'm tough. Nope. Just gonna cry on camera.
Grab this immediately.
Just gonna cry on camera. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk about the finale.
The finale.
Which is number 4 again out of 6 categories.
We got 2 categories to go.
2 categories to go, but the finale. So, exciting things happen again. You've got this whole build up. You literally have just set your deck to whatever you want it to be. Oh my gosh, that was hitting me harder than I thought it would. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're set. You're setting. Go ahead. You go.
I was enjoying that, but sure. Okay, so let's say that we successfully activated Proteus Staff.
Yep.
We have stacked our deck however we want. Now, whether Hellcover Demon's out, whether we need to cast him, there's a few haste enablers. Swiftfoot Boots is a great option for haste and protection. You need to get combat damage through. That's when the demon triggers.
Hellcarver's got flying, so usually you can get it through on someone. If not, you've board wiped already, and you've gotten the
You can even use the White Shrine can tap down creatures, so
you've got plenty of ways to do it.
you can get through. So, let's say all is going according to plan.
And then they fog. Just kidding.
We have counterspell backup. Alec has thought of that.
There you go.
So we have the demon, we go for combat, we get the trigger. What happens? So, Alec has added those recursion spells that we talked about earlier. So if you have any of your important spells in your hand, you can get that back in your library, make sure it's right where it needs to be
before the
with
Proteus
Proteus
Staff all
Staff.
happens. Yep.
And then he has a specific set of cards that he likes to go for. He can, manipulate it if he needs to, depending on the game. But generally speaking,
Depending on how badly he wants to beat you.
yeah, so what he's going to be going for are these 6 cards. Eerie Ultimatum, Twinning Staff, Paradox Haze, and then 3 epic spells.
And this is the order that you want them stacked, I believe.
Generally
Is that correct?
speaking, yeah, so you'll want to have them resolve in this order.
Yep.
And then we've got Eternal Dominion, Endless Swarm, and Enduring Ideal.
You've got a good memory, sir.
Thank you. And so, the way the demon's trigger works is kind of wonky. So just to clarify, when Hellcarver Demon deals the damage, signs on the dotted line for this deal, you look at the top 6 cards of your library and you can cast any number of them as part of that ability's resolution. So you're not like casting one at a time. And that's important because of some of the cards that we're about to talk about. So we've put all of these cards on the stack. What do they do?
Okay, so do you want me to start with the epic spells or the other ones first?
Let's go with the epic spells. They're pretty important to explain the other ones.
So we'll start, and I'm going to go in the order which I believe is probably the weakest to strongest, although all can be very strong, obviously. Start with the green one, Endless Swarm. A sorcery for 5 green, so 8 mana in total. Put a 1/1 green snake creature token into play for each card in your hand, and then it's got epic, and epic means for the rest of the game, you can't play spells. So that's pretty bad. But at the beginning of each upkeep, each of your upkeeps, copy the spell except for its epic ability. Basically, it says, okay, instead of, this is the way the card was intended. It's basically, okay, hey, this card's got a really cool effect and it's pretty powerful, and you're just gonna cast this rest of the game once each turn, and that's it. So you gotta win this way. Now again, with the way that Alec's building it, you're doing this multiple times or more things, but basically that's kind of how it works.
Yeah. So this is certainly not the way the designers of these epic cards envision them to be used.
No.
They're all sorcery, so like they have to be cast at sorcery speed.
Yep.
So you put it on the stack, it resolves.
Yep.
Like you couldn't ever.
Even if you had infinite mana, you could not just be like, okay, I cast this epic spell. Okay, that one's resolved. Now I'll cast the next one. You can't, because you can't cast other spells. It literally locks you out from casting the other epic spells.
Yes. So
How epic of it.
how epic. And so this demon is putting all of them on the stack at the same time. So from that point on, they're actually already cast.
Yep.
So that whole you can't cast spells thing doesn't matter anymore because they are cast, they just haven't resolved.
Which is why this incredibly specific demon is very
This
good for
incredibly
this, but not
specific
good in
demon.
other places.
This is downsides upon downsides
Exactly.
that just result in this
It's like
beautiful,
giant upside.
beautiful deck. And so we've got all of our tokens flowing.
Yep.
What are we doing next?
Okay, so Enduring Ideal, I'd say is number 2 out of the 3 epics. A sorcerer for 5 white, so 7 mana in total. Search your library for an enchantment card and put it into play, then shuffle your library. This one obviously can go get your shrines. It can be very powerful in that way. There are other things you can get to protect you fantastic things that I can do in this deck, obviously.
Right. Okay. And then the coup de grace, the biggest of the bunch.
And ironically, this one, although Island is our least spicy thing here, this one is
the most spicy.
It is the most spicy out of all of them somehow. Eternal Dominion, 7 blue, 10 mana in total. Search target opponent's library for an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land. Put that card in play under your control. That player shuffles their library. Epic. Yeah, so just every single turn, every single one of your upkeeps, tutor someone's library for whatever you want and take it out and put it in play because, yeah, your Blightsteel Colossus is now my Blightsteel Colossus. So if your friend's got a very powerful deck, it makes your deck even more powerful.
Exactly. So how can we make this even better? Because casting 3 epic spells
Not
is
enough.
not enough. So it involves this. So the other cards we mentioned were Eerie Ultimatum, which is a new card, I believe, for my Coria.
Yep.
The Abzan Ultimatum that basically says return any number of cards that have different names from the graveyard to the battlefield.
In Commander, you get everything except for doubles of basic lands. That's essentially it. You get all your things back. So again, Hellcarver's like, hey, you're getting rid of all these things. And it's like, oh, you get them all back. Yeah. Cool. Actually, it basically gets all the things out of your hand into play, too.
And all your lands enter untapped.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that'll basically reset the board and negate a lot of the Hellcarver's.
You know, this giant downside? Now it's an upside.
It is. It really is.
It literally is.
So the next cards are Twinning Staff and Paradox Haze. They serve somewhat similar roles, but just in a slightly different ways. Paradox Haze is a classic blue enchantment that says basically you get 2 upkeeps. And since all the epic spells trigger on upkeep, you're double dipping into all your epic spells.
Yep.
That one's pretty self-explanatory. The next one, though, is Twinning Staff, which was in the C20 deck series.
Yep.
It is an artifact that says if you would copy a spell 1 or more times, instead copy it that many times plus an additional time. You may choose new targets for the additional copy. It also has an activated ability of 7 and tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. So, going back to the epic spells, they have very specific wording that says at the beginning of your upkeep, copy that spell, right? And so Twinning Staff says, I see that copy, I think you need another.
Yeah, you definitely need another.
Yeah, so we're getting 3 epic spells every upkeep. We're getting 2 upkeeps for 6 epic spells, and then Twinning Staff is like, I got you, 12. We're doing 12 epic spells, plus since you had all those lands enter untapped and got back all your mana production more than likely.
Might as well use it. You might as well
use
use
it.
it.
Activate it, make a copy. Oh, hey, that's a copy. I'm gonna make another one. So you get 14 epic spells your first time around. Plus, when you first cast the epic spells, you get all those abilities
Effects right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those aren't copied by the
Comment below if Eddie's wrong on his math.
Please do, I'd like to know so it's easier for me to beat Alec.
And also how much more of the sauces I've had than Eddie so far. Anyways, back to what Eddie was saying.
All right, so this is the grand finale. Alec has jumped through their hoops to remove what he needs to survive. He's got the Hellcarver demon out. He's got his shrines propelling him to victory. He's got this trigger. He's put all these spells on the stack and hasn't won quite yet.
No, I mean, obviously, you need kind of just, the culmination of it all. The finale is not the finale, right? There's
got to be some closure. You've got to actually finish it out.
When you go to a fireworks show, right, it's not just over. There's always like you wait and then it comes back, right?
Sure.
Or are those just fireworks shows?
Those might just be your fireworks shows. I would equate it more to like a book. You read a story and then like there's all this build up, and then the big plot point happens and then all the characters like resolve and like figure out what they're gonna do with their lives.
20 years later, Ted became a teacher.
So this is the epilogue. So
like an encore. There we go. Band. There we go. Okay, now I'm on it. The sauces are leaving my system.
We better reintroduce another one.
We better introduce another one because this is the epilogue. Let's flip our last cards. I think we know what they are.
We do.
I have the lovely island.
I've got a forest.
Okay.
So we're going for Crybaby Craig
And
over
I
here.
get the lovely K Mama sauce.
Ballin' since 2012.
Who again is just going to be very nice and gentle before I get hit with a sledgehammer. The last one. So again, I don't think I did this in the right way. Again, I think usually you just want to build up instead of just going like, oh, let's start hot, then go down, then go way back up.
I'm excited for this one. This one at the lineup looked like it would be my favorite. This didn't end well for you last time.
This is the baby one. I should be fine, right?
What's going to happen for the Reaper, though?
I said I'm not going to do that on that one. At least I hope not. Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
All right.
All right, air cheers.
Air cheers. Here we go. Nope. Oh, man.
That one's good. Okay, that one I could just eat. Like,
Right?
Nope, that does not go there.
I'd say the same thing for this. This Crybaby Craig's is delicious.
For you, yeah, you could just. Again, not me. Okay, so I probably can talk pretty well during this one.
Yeah, you got the K-Mama.
Okay, so you got the came out. You're fine with just that one, nothing else but that one. Okay, so winning the game. So again, eventually, kind of once you get to this thing where, that's hitting you a little bit. Look at that, yeah.
That was a surprise.
I win.
Still delicious. I hold to that.
This is delicious. Crying.
It's a good pain.
It's so good.
Hurts so good.
Hurts so good. Yeah, that's exactly what that song was about, hot sauce. Okay, so you're set up. You've done all this kind of setup. You've got all the epic spells. You get to your next turn. Your upkeeps happen. What do you do?
Well, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because we have.
Because I had the K-Mama and now I'm too excited.
You are
because I
very
can
excited.
handle this hot sauce.
Yes, rightfully so. But okay, so we've got a couple things that Alec typically does when he's resolving the Hellcover Demon.
Okay.
So we've got those 3 epic spells. The tokens one, fine. Whatever you search from opponents' libraries, that's going to change game to game. So that's just a judgment call.
Yep.
But the Enduring Ideal lets you search your library for an enchantment. And if you haven't already played them in the game at this point, there's a couple ones that he likes to do. So as I said, this is actually casting the cards, so Twinning Staff doesn't make an extra copy. But since you just returned all your permanents with the Eerie Ultimatum, you probably have enough mana to activate the Twinning
One
Staff.
would think, and then you can copy one of the ones that are on the stack.
Yeah, and generally he copies Enduring Ideal because he's looking for 2
That makes sense.
enchantments in particular that really can make it exceedingly difficult to unseat him from this
kill
position.
him.
Because at this point he can't cast any spells. Like he's along for the ride like the rest of us.
Yes.
And so he's going to be looking for 2 cards, Solitary Confinement as well as Decree of Silence. These are a couple cards that I think you grew up with.
I did. So my favorite sets when I was a kid, or my favorite blocks, were Odyssey and then Onslaught. And I believe both of these were in those. So Solitary Confinement, yeah, that's in Judgment. So Solitary Confinement is an enchantment for 2 and a white. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Solitary Confinement, lets you discard a card from your hand. So not starting off great. It gets worse. Skip your draw step. So this is just basically like the Hellcarver Demon kind of thing, all this downside. But
Same with the epic spells, really. I mean, yeah.
And then here's the upside. You can't be the target of spells or abilities, which I believe now is Shroud. And then prevent all damage that be dealt to you. So essentially, hey, although, yeah, you're not gonna be able to draw, you're gonna have other ways to do that though. We'll talk about that here in a second. You basically get all these benefits where, hey, you can't touch me, okay? The only thing that can basically hurt you is basically kind of like loss of life. Like a Gary could get you, but like any kind of damage.
Ironically, even Mill can't really because you don't draw a card. I mean, if you have other things that...
That's true. If you skip your draw, yeah, that's true. So yeah, there you go. This is a perfect card against Mill decks. I recommend everyone play it.
So yeah, that'll put you in your protected bubble. You're in solitary confinement.
And
you're hanging out by yourself. And then...
On top of that, so again, with this, you're kind of putting yourself in a very kind of risky situation, right? You can't cast anything else, so you can't cast counter spells. But there's a counter spell that's an enchantment. And that would be the lovely Decree of Silence, which is from Scourge, which again, I believe is from my favorite block. I think that was the Onslaught block. Onslaught? Yes, I think so. Or Odyssey. Someone's gonna combo and you're like, so wrong. Anyways, enchantment for 6 blue. So yeah, an 8-mana enchantment better be good. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, counter that spell and put a depletion counter on Decree of Silence. So yeah, that's pretty good. If there are 3 or more depletion counters on Decree of Silence, sacrifice it. So yeah, basically 3 free counter spells. So having these 2 things in play kind of just creates this giant bubble around yourself and be like, okay, I'm gonna have big things happen. You better try to stop me. And if you can't, you're done. You have to basically, your opponents have to, gang up against you, cast 3 spells, they're all gonna get countered, and then still have other things that can stop you, which is very hard to do, especially since you've got that bubble, the solitary confinement around you too.
Right, and this is a beautiful solution because you've already cast Epic, so you're barred from casting spells for the rest of the game. But Enduring Ideal puts those enchantments directly into play, and Decree of Silence is a triggered ability. It's not actually casting to counter something, so you can get around the Epic spell limitation that way. So you've set up your bubble, and now, like we were talking about in the finale, if you've survived till your next turn, the game begins.
You get a dumb number of epic spells, and then you just basically get you get your tokens, you get more enchantments, and then you also just get whatever the best things in your friend's deck are.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of still works with all that Shrine synergy that we built up earlier, because that Sanctum of All, you could go get that with the Enduring Ideal if you needed it still. And that lets you get any shrines from your graveyard into play, so if there's anything key there, you can do that. If Cisse was already, well, no, never mind. I'm going to back up that statement. Cisse, you couldn't cast her again because you're barred from casting
That's very
spells.
true.
But if she was in your graveyard and came back, then sure, I guess you could do that. And she has activated abilities. Nevertheless, you're getting such insurmountable card advantage. And a lot of these decks that rely on these incredible setups, big combo turns, get, in my experience at least, a little bit old after a period of time. But even so, Alex's deck gets around that because he's got Eternal Dominion, which is a wonderful card, even if you're not doing any other shenanigans with it, because you're playing with other people's decks. So like that is going to be different every single game. So you can build your own win condition.
Oh, hey, if that betrays, I'd love that in play. Thank you.
Trigger these days.
No, never, 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 never.
All right, so that's the deck. It's epic. Oh, before we go, the hot sauce got to my brain.
You did miss one, didn't you?
I missed one.
You missed one in here.
So, in both an incredibly flavorful way and in an incredibly awesome way, and both in function and flavor, he's included Epic Experiment in the deck, which, while Hellcarver Demon is cheaper overall to commit to, because it's only 6 and maybe like an equip cost for Swiftfoot Boots, if you've stacked your deck with Proteus Staff, and for whatever reason it's not safe to play out Hellcarver Demon, if you've got Epic Experiment, which is a sorcery for blue-red X, it says you can reveal X cards from the top of your library and cast from among them any number of instants or sorceries that with converted mana cost X or less without paying their mana cost.
Exile the top, not reveal, but still.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So sorry. And so if you've stacked your deck with all of those same spells that we talked about and have enough mana, you could do X equals 10. That meets the requirement for Eternal Dominion. You could get all of those. You'll be missing Paradox Haze. You'll be missing, Twinning Staff, but you can still get Eerie Ultimatum, and you'll be able to...
You still get 3 epic spells a turn.
You can eke out a victory.
Oh, no, I only get 1 thing from your library and 1 enchantment and, some tokens and whatnot.
I mean, even if you knew that was the play, it's just so resilient because you could have played out Twinning Staff or played out Paradox Haze, sacrifice them to the demon, and then with the demon...
They come back with the ultimatum.
Granted, if you have the demon, you don't need to do that, but... Anyway, this deck has so many ways to get where it needs to go, not be interrupted while doing it, kind of look unassuming. It throws people off the scent at every direction because it's Cisse Shrines by the looks of it until it's basically
until it's basically not.
Until it's basically the most epic deck that I've ever played against.
Well, I think we need to cap off this epic deck with something very stupid. And well, the Golden Pig is not a stupid thing. Doing this is. So before we announce each of our picks for the Golden Pig and kind of discuss that, which is going to be a lot harder to do after we do this, we're going to have some Carolina Reaper hot sauce from Double Take. And that's...
I've never had Carolina Reaper. I do like spicy foods. I've done habanero, I've done ghost pepper. I've never touched the Reaper.
Oh, okay. Well, even Eddie might be in pain after this one. Maybe Eddie will feel a little of my pain that I felt throughout pretty much this entire thing except for K-Mama.
This doesn't have the safety valve here. This
doesn't have a safety valve on it?
This is a straight pour. Here we go.
Are you?
Let's see if Mitch doubles up here.
You jerk. Now I gotta find a big nugget.
Oh, this is thick.
No. Oh,
Come on. No, that's not enough.
Oh, no!
It's like when you're drinking a glass with ice and it's just like stuck there.
I feel like you got, it's like the ketchup bottle. Like I feel like you've got it like loose for me now. And now it's gonna, no.
We are so done.
I think that's around what you got. Oh no.
We'll call it even. There's no winners here.
Absolutely no winners here. Okay. If I don't make it,
take care of our dogs.
Take care of our dogs. Yeah. All right.
Cheers. Well, yeah. I was gonna say it's a slow burn, but it's here.
It's already. I can't.
On my cheek. Now it's moving around.
I've avoided the milk up until this point, but everything in me is screaming, just grab it right now while you still can.
Right, before it's too late.
I'm gonna try again, like, this entire thing, I'm like, I'm gonna be tough, I can do it. If I can do it. I'm gonna put more on Eddie. I'm gonna not drink milk, and I'm just like, why? That
was so much.
What did I do? Why? Okay.
Who designed the Reaper?
People from Carolina, apparently.
What have you done?
I don't know if it was North or South Carolina, but you're jerks. You people are jerks.
Wow.
Oh, whoever made that. Okay, so even Eddie. Okay. So
I was feeling good after the Lola. This does not make me feel good.
it's a different level. And again, like I came from like I started off hot, and then I went all the way, all the way down to K Mama, and then all the way back up. Golden Pig. Okay. So I think we might be in agreement on this.
So
Go on.
here's the contenders. We got the epic spells.
Sure.
The deck wouldn't work without those.
So Eternal Dominion out of all of them probably is the best epic spell.
You've got Proteus Staff, which lets you stack the deck however you want. Very
Absolutely.
important.
A key crucial piece, obviously. You've got Epic Experiment, which can kind of do some very epic things.
With epic cards.
With epic cards. It's hard to think. But I think at the end of the day, if you look at everything, I think it's kind of like, oh my God. I think it's literally just because this is like the only deck that this card works in.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a absolutely, when you play it, like, if Alec, the first time without knowing what this deck did, if Alec played down Hellcarver Demon, I'm like, what is going on? Like,
what is going on?
Literally, what is going on exactly? Okay, bearing the lead, Hellcarver Demon I think is Golden Pig. I think you probably have a similar thought.
I do.
I assume both of us think
this
that.
deck is so spicy that there's probably room for multiple pigs, but at the end of the day, the demon stands above all the others.
It takes all those epic things and puts them together in a giant epic package and says, here, boom, this is happening now. You're getting 14 epic spells in a turn. I think I just burned off all my taste buds.
Commander, I think as a format, is designed to do insane things that you never see anywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is a deck that's done exactly that.
Insane things, like eating Carolina Reaper hot sauce for no reason.
Oh. So, hats off to Alec. You built an amazing deck.
Incredibly spicy deck.
It's so fun to play against. I'm thrilled to lose against it whenever I see it.
And now, if you're in the wild and you see a Sisay deck and they're playing some shrines,
be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. If you see a Proteus Staff or Hellcarver Demon, you know what's going on. Oh. But most of the time, they're probably just playing a Shrines deck, and you're like, get that guy.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think that's about all I can handle.
I think so, too. Thank you for joining me, Eddie, and thank you for showing everyone how big of a baby I am on this kind of stuff.
Glad
Except
to be
for the
here.
last one, because you're a baby on that, too.
I admit it. Yeah, there's no getting around the Reaper.
Oh my gosh! You don't fear the Reaper. They're wrong. Blue Oyster Cult was wrong. You fear the Reaper. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for today, and probably for a while.
It's time for a break.
Yeah, what the heck?
If Mitch doesn't upload for a while, forgive him.
You know why? All right, I'm still recovering. All right, as always, thanks again, and have a good one.